Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are
Welcome to.
you?
I'm good. Welcome to BalleBollyMagazine's Conversations.
Thank you. The pleasure is entirely mine.
So I must say you are definitely a yummy mummy, and I, I hope a lot of women want to ask, what do you eat to look so young and perfect?
So, Vishakha, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vishakha, let me just tell you something. I always believe in we just have one life and we should eat everything in moderation.
Okay.
I eat everything in moderation, but I work out very hard actually so that I can eat everything. So some people ask me, ma'am, why do you work out so much? I
Hmm.
work out so that I can eat everything but in moderation. So for
Okay.
all the young ladies and all the aspiring women, I just want to tell them that you must eat everything in moderation.
Great. So you belong to Punjab. What do you like the most about Punjab?
Oh my God, ask me what is it that I don't like about Punjab.
Okay.
Being from that land, being a Sardarni, there's everything that I love about that place. Especially the people, they are so enthusiastic in the first place. They are ready to take all kind of risks, and they are very happy-go-lucky people. So Punjab is a land which is full of enthusiasm. It is always encouraging people, and there's so much life always happening. They're full of life. So that's something that I
Definitely,
always.
definitely. So when are you visiting Punjab?
Oh, yes, this pandemic has actually stalled all our visits and our travel. Now we really have to be very picky and choosy about where to travel. But yes, I have my relatives there. And I love to visit that place at least twice a year is my endeavor to make it. But let's see, maybe in good weather and shortly I should be able to visit.
Great. So, how were your childhood days like? And were your parents strict?
Oh, yes. To be honest, my mother was very strict, and
Okay.
our father actually, he was also strict. We've been born and brought up in the
Army background.
yes, our armed forces. So we have our organization, which caters for discipline, and we have discipline in life right
Mhm.
from the time we wake up to all our activities are very well disciplined. My parents were very strict. Nevertheless, they never stopped us. We are two sisters. So they never
Okay.
stopped us from anything in life that would curb some kind of a success, or we want to take up some kind of an avenue in life, or they would always push us further to do anything that we aspired to do. So being disciplined is one, and being strict is on the other hand something else that we can talk about.
So,
Yeah.
were you obedient? So, were you an obedient child or a naughty one?
I was a very obedient child because I was the elder one in the family. So, होता है ना कि when you are the eldest out of the siblings, तो
Yeah.
आपको discipline ज़्यादा दिखाना पड़ता है. You're responsible for others also. So I was very obedient at that time. But now, if you ask my parents, I'm sure they would not agree with me presently, because there are so many discussions now at this age that we have, and they feel that I'm not obedient anymore. But yes,
Oh, okay. Okay.
right then I was. Yes.
So, what kind of banters do you recall with your having with your sister?
Okay, so the bad days, like every sibling, I think they would recall was, she used to tell all my secrets. So she was
Okay.
the good one, and she was the studious one at that time.
Hmm.
And I just recall certain memories wherein she used to tell my parents about all my secrets, and she couldn't keep any of my secrets. But
Okay.
now, on the contrary, I think we are best of friends, and we share a lot, much more than what we had expected in life. But yeah, so that was something I can never forget.
Yeah, so we share a great bond with our sister. So you also changed a lot of schools. So did you find any difficulty in adopting the lifestyle of different cities?
Oh, yes, it has its own pros and cons. But like I said, I like to take everything in the positive stride. Having been to a lot of schools, right from convents to army schools to various public schools, I think it gave us an opportunity to meet a lot of people from all walks of life, different cultures. So, as an army child, our adaptability is much more. Of course, we do face those difficulties, because now my children are also facing the same difficulties. You don't have any permanent
Mm,
friends. So after every
right.
2 years, you're told to go to a new place, and then you're asked to make new friends. So you don't have permanent friends. But in life, I think once you grow up and you know that permanent friends doesn't mean that you have to see them every day and you have to be with them every day. And I'm quite connected with my classmates, of course, my
Okay.
11th.
So you're still in touch with them.
Yeah, of course. In fact, that's the only group that I'm in touch with.
Okay.
And yes, and we just happened last to last year, before the pandemic had hit, we attended one of our friends' wedding also. So yes, I am connected with my friends. But having said that, I feel being to various schools has we've been able to adapt to a lot of cultures, a lot of people, met a lot of people all throughout my journey. So whatever I am today, I think a lot of credit goes to that also. So I would say, yeah, it worked really positively for me.
And you often say that one should not stop learning in life.
No, no, not
So,
at all. Even given a chance now, I love to study. There are
okay.
children who say that, ma'am, abhi padhai nahi hoti, kuch aur karna hai. So I keep telling them that's something that you can always empower yourself.
Hmm.
Education is something which never goes waste. And why I say education, because it's important for you as a human being. It really transforms you. Your state of mind is very different when you compare people who are educated, their backgrounds. So it's definitely empowering yourself, and for your own betterment. So I love to study. I love to educate myself. Yeah.
Great. And you also educate other people too. So you improve the, personality of a lot of people. So whom do you think helped you improve your personality?
So I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat it? Who helped me improve my
Yeah,
personality? Is
yeah.
that
Who
what you're
helped you
asking?
improve your personality?
Okay, so Shaka, I just like to add to this that, of course, I give a lot of credit to my background, because, being from the armed forces, brought up in the armed forces, we have that culture wherein everything, right from your etiquette to deportment to the way you dress up, everything is taught right from your childhood days. So there is a
Exactly.
lot which goes into the background. uh, a major part of the credit goes to my parents, of course, because they never stopped at it, and they were always especially my mother. She always wanted us to be very prim and proper, and she never left any stone unturned. So once you get married also into the armed forces, there's a lot which goes into doing whatever you have learned earlier in your younger days. But of course, as an army wife, I had a lot of responsibilities, and I had to carry on a lot of things. And that is the time when you groom a lot of other people. But that's one part of the life. But Vishakha, at the same time, it is very important to do certain courses. Earlier on, when I started my career, I was an educationist. And from that, I thought that, I need to do more, because I wanted to connect more with people. When a lot of people used to come to me, especially mothers, they would come to me and they would talk with me regarding a lot of issues. As to always feel that, there is something that I can help these people with, which is what, got me into grooming and styling. So I did various courses. And while I was doing a lot of courses, in the time I realized, okay, this also happens. So similarly, even today, as coaches, when we attend a lot of seminars, there is so much that you can learn from these seminars also. So I think each day changes, you adapt to it, and I think you become a better person. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So you did your graduation in psychology and masters in literature with business administration along with soft skills. So how were your college days like? Like you used to bunk classes or, a regular student?
So I'll tell you something about my college days. I was
Okay.
always a very naughty kid. I was a naughty
Okay.
brat. While I was in the hostel, my warden quite didn't take a liking towards me. Yes, and I often tell my both my children that it's okay to be naughty, but at the same time, you have to study also a little bit. So I was my professor's favorite,
Okay.
and because they knew that I was a mix of both, I was
Mm.
naughty, but at the same time, I was good in studies also. So I was their favorite. Yes, I used to bunk classes also at times, especially when there were some new movies which would come. I would love to go and watch these movies. I've always loved Bollywood and always wanted to watch these stars. So I used to bunk classes also. But I used to make up, towards the end of the day. I used to come back and write my notes and submit everything. And yeah, so like every individual has a very normal life. Even I had a very normal life, and I did all of this. I had my share of doing all these pranks and being a part of mimicry shows and doing everything almost. Yes.
So one should gain all kind of experiences because ultimately you only live once.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Very important, very
Yeah.
important. It's through your experience also that you learn a lot,
Right.
I think experience really counts a lot. And all these experiences, when I talk with youngsters today, and I can understand where they're coming from if they have a certain issue, and when they talk about it, I can correlate somehow. I can
Hmm.
understand.
Right. Right.
So I will never shun them down by saying, "Ye aap kar rahe ho, ye bilkul galat hai. You're not supposed to be doing that."
Hmm.
Because you see, as humans, we are very curious, and we are all humans. We
Right.
we we tend to commit mistakes. So it's very easy to correlate and understand that why this happened. The only endeavor that at my end would be that I can give them certain guidance so that they are on the right track after that. पर आई डोंट से ये नहीं करना, ये बिल्कुल गलत है, तुमने ये करा, ये तो मतलब अभी इसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता, so
Right.
that way is a lot of youngsters. I love to be with the younger generation. To be honest, I'll tell you today that I love to be with the younger generation. Firstly, um, why? Because they remind you of your days.
Right.
So yeah, and secondly, you're kind of aware about the world. You know about everything. So I always tell people कि अपने आप को एक cocoon में मत रखो. The kind of age I am and beyond, you must interact with these people. So that's life. That is what is happening, and you must understand. So
So, and we must
yeah.
keep the child alive inside us.
Oh yes, any day, any day, any day.
Hmm.
You can't retire from your life like that.
Right.
So as age is a state of mind, you can't really retire from your life. So keep it
Right.
alive in you.
So, horse riding is your favorite activity. Who taught you horse riding, and did you ever fell from a horse?
So by default, because in the armed forces, like I said, you have most of the facilities, most of the sports facilities, and horse riding was something that I took on from my parents. Both my parents
Okay.
were riders. Yeah, they were
Wow.
riders. In fact, my mom used to go for these hunts, and I remember as a child looking at my mom, and I still have her riding helmet. So I was obsessed
Wow.
with horse riding at that time, and I always wanted to learn. So I remember there's a place called Wellington. A lot of army kids can relate to this. So we went there, and I was a little girl, and we were made to sit on a pony. It's like
Okay. Mhm.
a horse, which is not a fully grown horse, and a smaller version of the horse. And we sat on the pony, and this guy, the one who was handling the pony, had lost control completely and left the pony, and
Oh
it's
my
rained.
God.
But this pony just kept on running like how, and in the middle of nowhere, I was dropped off the back, and I didn't realize. All I knew is I was screaming, and then there were people around me trying to check whether I was hurt. I must have been around what, 7, 8 years of age at
Oh
that
my
time.
God.
So that was something, but all said and done, I never got scared of that experience. I always wanted to have control and learn that how you can control this animal. And yeah, my parents, of course, got very scared, but it didn't stop us from learning how to ride. So, like they said, na, kuch bhi aap karte ho life mein, jab tak girte nahi ho, sanvalte nahi ho, you
बिल्कुल.
don't understand how to go about it. So, I think horse riding also was by default. But then, yeah, I continued wherever I could because not every station has this facility.
लेकिन गिरने के बाद कभी कभी होता है कि हम उस चीज को करने से थोड़ा सा डरते हैं. सो हाउ वाज दैट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग जब दोबारा हॉर्स राइडिंग की गिरने के बाद?
तो दोबारा हॉर्स राइडिंग की तो तब अपने माइंड में ये जरूर आ गया था कि what was the fault and what did I do? Firstly, I started screaming. So when you start screaming, the animal obviously gets paranoid. Any animal
Right.
would do that. And then I hadn't learned it that well, but then later on we were in we have a complete place where you can learn. So my parents sent me for learning how to ride a horse, and we had classes for this. We were never scared, but of course there are some horses which are very young, so you get scared because they're very aggressive. So but once you get control over your reins, the animal, the horse, and the correct technique, then you don't have to be scared of it's just a connection that you adapt to between you and the horse, so the horse understands your command.
So did you teach your kids horse riding?
Not really. I was always very fond of my children getting into horse riding, but off and on, I tried doing that. Very soon, you're going to be seeing my pictures because I'm again going to get back to horse riding after a long time.
Great.
Because now we have a couple of horses, which have been placed here. And my elder son used to ride the horse quite some time. Then he got on to other sports. But yes, my younger son, I really want him to learn. And I just hope and wish that one day when he rides a horse well.
Great. So you started your career by working with Bethany Congregation. How was your first interview like, and how did you prepare for it?
So, I started my career with Bethany Congregation, which is a convent school. And convent schools have these nuns who are very, very strict.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I remember my first interview was conducted by Sister Marie Thakur. She was a very strict nun, and they're very particular about how you dress up and what is your body language. But I give a lot of credit to them because what I learned there was something which is till date with me. And I am so thankful that that's where I started my career, because the minute I entered the door, I could see her. She was just trying to check me out on my body language. I was wearing a sari. I love to wear a sari. Today I'm not. I have a couple of sessions wherein I couldn't afford to wear a sari, so I was in a little haste. But the minute I walked and I stood there, I just saw there was a spark in her eyes, and she looked at me and she said, "Preeti Kumar, what brings you here?" So I still remember, I said, "Sister, I want to learn a lot in life." So she really loved what I said. She said, "All right, please sit down." I've never heard somebody say that in the first interview. I said, "Sister, I would love to learn all throughout my life, and which is what has brought me to this place." And I'm telling you, the kind of goals that were set in, the kind of learning that I went through with Bethany Congregation was very, very real, very pragmatic in life. And while I had to leave it because, then you have to move to another station, I was crying like anything.
Oh my God.
So it was a sister, who planned a beautiful send off for me and said, "It is our loss that you're going, but it is somebody else's gain." So, that way they were very happy.
Very true.
Now moving to the place.
And what was the students' reaction?
Yeah, I was a favorite of my students because, I've always handled
the
senior classes. So my students were very sad, but they do get the staff than somebody or the other. But they're still connected with me, by the way. All those students, they've grown up, they're at great positions, they're really accomplished. But what I love is they still get back to me, and yeah, we're connected thanks to the social media, I would say.
Exactly.
We're connected now. The students were sad, but at the same time, they were very happy that ma'am was with us, and so was I. So yeah,
And also I have noticed one thing. Convents में हम sir ma'am पहले लगाते हैं नाम के, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
we that's etiquette, because
Yeah.
they're very professional. They are very courteous people. They have a kind of system which functions, and yes, there's a lot to learn from convent schools. The old
Exactly.
convent. Yeah.
So when I joined some organization after my schooling or university, तो वहाँ पे भी I used to, respect हम पहले, like sir, like for example, ma'am Preeti. So they all used to be like, what are you saying? It's Preeti ma'am, not ma'am Preeti. What are you saying?
That's maybe with somebody there, but yeah, they're very courteous people.
Yeah. So how do you maintain that work and life balance?
I keep telling everybody, especially the women, that our first priority is a house for me. I would not say work. My first priority is my house, my children, my husband. And if I get some time on my hand after doing all that, then is my work. So, I'm a little old school as compared to people.
Okay.
I feel God has created a man and a woman with different purpose,
Right.
and we cannot leave out that purpose. Though my husband helps me in a lot of things, he can cook very well, he can take care of the children also, he's able to do everything. But for me, my priority as a woman is first to be a homemaker, be able to handle the house. I'll fail in my responsibilities and duties if I go out and talk to the world that work comes first for me, children can be taken care of, house can be taken care of. No, it doesn't happen with you like that. And you're only a successful person or a woman here we're talking about when you can actually strike a balance between your profession and your household. When you're not able to strike a balance and you give either one of these a little more importance, which is where you start faltering. So I try and strike a balance because I try and make use of those 24 hours. Like I'll tell you, somebody asked me the other day, आप तो genetically बहुत blessed हो, है ना? तो आप तो ऐसे हुआ वैसे हो. I said, no, it's not like that. I also get up in the morning every day. My day kick starts at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
so I wanted to ask this. How is a normal day in your life like?
So I get up at 6 a.m. That is my everyday routine. Unless you partied hard the previous night, obviously कोई भी 6 बजे नहीं उठ सकता है.
Right.
But I wake up like on my usual days at 6 a.m., which is when the clock starts ticking for me. मुझे बहुत सारे काम करने रहते हैं. So I start doing all of that. I go to the gym by about 7:38. I work out in the gym for an hour and a half. I see whatever I have to do. I write down and note down everything on the the notice board which I have in my kitchen for people to do. I also have staff, but not everything is managed by staff. There are certain things that I have to note down. Children are grown up, so they're into their own lives, and of course they manage by themselves. But by the time I go, I work, I come back, it's 5:30 in the evening. So I am not that lucky that I get those afternoon naps. And I'm not that lucky कि मैं वो थोड़ा फोन देख के सो जाऊं 1-2 घंटे के लिए दोपहर में और फिर बड़ा फ्रेश एकदम स्लीप लेके एकदम फ्रेश हो जाऊं. वो सब नहीं मिलता है. बट मेरे लिए ब्यूटी स्लीप से ज्यादा है मेरा वर्कआउट. I think that really works. Yeah, I prefer to go work out, run, do a lot of exercise and stuff. And 5:30 when I'm back home, that is me time. That's my time with my family. I need to see if things are in order. I like to cook dinner myself. We like to eat on the table, just one meal together. Children are out to play. They get back. By the time they're back, they have so much to talk about the entire day. Your husband's back. I also have a pet, so you have to see all of that. And of course, towards the end of the day, we sleep at good times, say 10:30 is max to max. Uh, I go off to sleep by 10:30. And yeah, like any other normal day, happy to wake up at 6 then. Yeah.
And what about Sunday? A happy day?
You know, I'll tell you something.
Mm.
My biological clock is set like that, that even if it's a Sunday, I wake up at 6 for a minute and then I'll be like, oh God, how can I just go off to sleep again? Everyone's sleeping. I also want to sleep, but it doesn't happen. Maximum, I will stretch it till 7 o'clock, lazing in the bed, watching my phone, scrolling through Instagram and stories and seeing कि अच्छा ठीक है आज Sunday है, बहुत सारे लोगों ने stories post की होगी, happy weekend, weekend vibes,
Yeah.
all of that. तो हम भी देख लेते हैं कि अच्छा ठीक है ऐसा है. But yeah, Sunday is something which is very hectic for me because वो एक ही day मिलता है जहाँ पे आपको right from your wardrobes to your kitchen to your wash
True.
देखना रहता है, and then you also have to plan for the coming week. So Sunday is not a very happy day for me.
Okay.
Saturday, of course, it is. I look forward to the weekends because I don't party like every day, but weekends is something that I like to keep it to that. And I often tell my friends, अगर party करनी हो तो please यार weekend पे किया करो यार, weekday पे मत किया करो. So it is very difficult. Just make her wait for 10 minutes, है ना? Ma'am will come tell her. Yeah. Okay.
You perform a lot of roles altogether, be it being a life coach, a trainer, how to communicate properly, soft skills. So, what motivates you to perform so many roles altogether?
Oh, that's a great question, Vishakha. I learn from each role that I perform because when I perform a particular role, I'm meeting with a different individual. And for me, my learning doesn't stop or end. Each day, I love to learn something new from somebody or the other. So while I'm performing, people call it multitasking, but then that's my profession, I think. I have to do all of this. I can't just restrict myself to only styling, or I can't restrict myself to only makeup, or. So being a life coach, people follow you for your lifestyle. They feel somewhere or the other you're very happy as a person. You had everything set in order. Of course, we have our challenges. Like I told you, we are also very normal human beings. हमें भी कभी कभी ups and downs आते हैं लाइफ में, बहुत सारे failures देखने को मिलते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है हमें failures नहीं देखने को मिलते. But out of experience and learning, we learn how to adapt to those failures and convert them into our stepping stones for our success. So what I'm trying to tell you is performing various roles and empowering people and helping them out to carve a path for their life or to see something in their life and to approach a particular strategy. It gives me a lot of pleasure. Especially, I'll give you an example. A lot of women who were a little skeptical in getting into the pageant industry because, actor banna, beauty pageants mein jana, शुरू में लोग बोलते थे कि मैम ये ना अच्छे फैमिली वाले ऐसे नहीं करते, मतलब बहुत लोग लाइक अच्छा क्यों फिर आप जाकर दीपिका पादुकोण की मूवी क्यों देखते हैं? You think she doesn't have a great background? All these people have fantastic backgrounds. आप सैफ अली खान को भी देखने जाते हैं, करीना की देखने जाते हैं, कितनों की मूवीज देखने जाते हैं. That means you're in awe of these people. है ना? आप आज मिस वर्ल्ड आप सुष्मिता सेन को देखते हैं, आप ऐश्वर्या राय को देखते हैं, आप देखते रह जाते हैं. People like me are in awe of these people कि wow, they're so accomplished, they have done so much in life. So how can you stop somebody who has aspirations, who has dreams to do something like this in life?
Exactly.
So let them live their life. So that is the time when I decided, I said, no, this mindset of the society has to change. Women have to step out to achieve their dreams. They have to live their dreams. Let them try at least. And I'm seeing so much from creating their own identity. Women have actually created their own identity. उनको बड़ा अच्छा लगता है क्राउन पहन के वापस आते हैं, फिर उनको कहीं पे इनवाइट करते हैं कि आप गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर हैं, आप चीफ गेस्ट हैं. So they feel so happy and accomplished कि भाई हम वो सब तो करा, अब ये कर रहे हैं, तो हमको recognition मिल रही है. So somewhere or the other, it gives me a lot of pleasure when I see these people live their dreams. So which is why I love what I do.
Great. You spoke about beauty pageants, and in 2015, you were crowned as Mrs. India runner-up. So,
Yes.
what led you participate in the pageant, and how would you describe your journey of Mrs. India?
So, people, they get scared of their failures. I also had a failure in my life when I wanted to go for Miss India, and there were criteria that I couldn't meet at that time. I was very young.
Okay.
And I wanted to go, and the minimum height which was required at that time was 5'5", and I am not 5'5". I'm shorter than 5'5". So that was one. And secondly, I was in a college in Punjab wherein my maternals were very strict. Though I was Miss Fresher and I was Miss College, so sab bolte the jao. I got offers from Punjabi movies also.
Okay.
I wish हाँ, तो मैंने कुछ एक दो कर लेनी थी तब पंजाबी मूवीज, तो शायद मेरे को मिस इंडिया में जाने का मौका भी मिल जाता. But you know, they were like any other family who would think, nee, not all of this, you cannot do this. And also I was rejected at that time. So I let it go, I let it be. Now, a similar thing happened with Gladrax Mrs. India, which was one of the prestigious beauty pageants for married women. And again, I didn't qualify for that. Now, after a few years in the pageant industry, now there are a lot of pageants, but 2015, I don't remember, there were many pageants which were happening, but this pageant was a very prestigious pageant. And again, my mentor, Birkor Dhillon, was the one who had actually organized this pageant. She lives in Canada, and she herself is a supermodel, I would say. And, she had actually come to India, and she wanted to organize this pageant. And at that time, I was auditioning for some documentary, for some kind of a
short
documentary. Yeah. And this person who was a director, who told me that I know so and so, and why don't you participate? I was like, no, I'll be rejected. How can I go? There are taller girls, there are younger girls. You know, I am a mother of two, and I've been married for so many years, and age is against me. I'll be rejected. My elder son heard this, and he told my husband, and he says she should go. I think she should go because this has been her dream. But also, I had support of my family, my parents, my husband, and a very special friend of mine. Her name is Mona. She was the one who used to always think that, oh, you are made to be a beauty queen and this and that. So all these people together, they really pushed me through. They helped me out. And yeah, I cracked the auditions and I was there. Short story. But like any other human being, I required a lot of support. Like any other woman, I required this support from my family, my friends, and which gave me the idea that I could actually do it. My failures converted into success again.
Amazing. So what led you open Finishing Institute in Madhya Pradesh?
So this is not my finishing institute.
Okay.
The owners are somebody else.
You were heading it?
I'm heading this finishing institute. And after the beauty pageant, when I came in, I was already into soft skills because I did my soft skills training long back, about 13, 14 years back. And, I was also already going to the colleges and training students for placements and interviews. So luckily, when I came to this institute here, there was no finishing school. So the owners here, that's Mr. Anil Grover, he runs a school here, which is a day boarding school. And he offered me this job that, I've always wanted, man, that there should be somebody who can take care of a finishing school. So he invested into this project and he brought up this project. And so this was, we started this project in 2016. Started constructing the building and a lot of things. And here we are today. So I think it was his vision. And like they say that for anything, you need people who have an approach towards life. So it was his vision. I'm not from Madhya Pradesh, you all know. But having said that, I've been here for almost a decade. That's why I think I'm holding the fort here. I love this place and I'm here. And heading the finishing school where a lot of people love to come and learn a lot of things.
So, some grooming tips you would like to give for the beautiful women out there? Because grooming is required in every kind of field.
Yes, I would like to say that grooming has been taken into a very different platform these days. But some people who feel कि stylish लगना ही grooming है ना, बहुत beautiful लगना ही grooming है. So it is your internal personality, it is your internal grooming which is important for a person. So when we are transforming people, when they come for grooming classes, it's not your exterior that we take care of course, that comes with time, that comes with our sessions, but the entire thought process of a person, your state of mind, the approach in life changes. So you as an individual from within transform. That is very important. And if you go for some classes for say one day, 2 days, 3 days, कि भाई मुझे पब्लिक के सामने बहुत स्मार्ट लगना है, बहुत स्टाइलिश लगना है, so that's very temporary. That's only for a day. You can do that. You cannot keep it with you for permanent. But when we take on grooming sessions here, this is for your lifetime. So I request, it's a humble request to everybody that don't get confused with this terminology of grooming कि ये होता क्या है, बहुत beautiful और stylish लगना और बहुत अच्छे से अपने आप को present करना ही grooming. That's a part of grooming. But transforming yourself as an individual as to what you see. आप कभी किसी को देखते हैं, आपको लगता है ना, I should be like that person. So वो overnight नहीं हो जाता वो person. It takes a lot of hard work which goes into making that person like that. So work towards that. It's very important to transform yourself from within as a human being so that you're able to do anything and then there is no stopping in life.
So even you have accomplished a lot in life. So did you ever plan to take a sabbatical?
Often I do that, but it somehow doesn't work. Short sabbaticals, of course, I've taken. Like I said, both my children have a gap of 10 years.
Okay.
So in our house, we usually like to bring up our children ourselves. We don't leave it on any help or anybody. So for 5 years, I didn't work when my elder son was not 5. Mm-hmm. And I started working after that. And again, my younger son was born very late in life. And I took 5 to 6 years of break. So I think that worked like a sabbatical for me. But once you're working and once you're doing kinds of jobs, it's very difficult for you to sit back home. A short one is fine.
Right.
Yeah. So now on my bucket list is I have to do Leh Ladakh and I have to do it all by myself, which I know I'll not be able to do because my boys will not allow it. Especially he always loves to accompany me. So let's see how
so it goes. Bucket list में Leh Ladakh. I'm so sorry. So अभी
Leh Ladakh है bucket list में. उससे पहले कोई pandemic की कोई नई wave COVID की ना आ जाए. Keeping our fingers, hands, feet, everything crossed कि कोई new wave आगे खड़ी हो जाए अभी इससे पहले कि हम जाके travel कर लें और सब ठीक रहे.
कोई dream project अभी mind में हो?
लोग बोलते हैं कि मैम आप ड्रीम्स देखते हो या नहीं. हाँ, मैं भी ख्वाब देखती हूँ, बड़े कलरफुल से ख्वाब देखती हूँ. मेरा ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट में क्या बोलूंगी? When I see everybody reaching their goals, achieving their goals, being accomplished in life, जिनको मैंने कभी ट्रेन किया हो, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अब ठीक है, that's really nice. I think I'm quite satisfied with Almighty's कृपा, I would say, जो भी है. मेरा ड्रीम यही है कि I should, जैसे like all the people say, they should die in their boots, meaning that they should be working while they're dying. मेरा ड्रीम यही है कि when I'm going to say thank you to life, at that point of time भी मैं काम करती रहनी चाहिए. So that is my dream.
One should remain busy. One should remain busy.
Remain busy, healthy, happy, and your state of mind should be great. You should always be happy in life. So I think this is zyada kya chahiye.
Yeah, great message that was actually. So thank you so much, ma'am. It was amazing having a conversation with you. And you have you have such positive vibes, and one gets to learn a lot from you. So best wishes for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. God bless you. And you look lovely. I don't know if I'm sure a lot of people have told you,
Thank
but
you
you
so
look
much.
so sweet. All my blessings. Thank you so much. I loved the way you carried on the whole procedure. And yeah, so God bless you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And next time, whenever you visit Punjab, you have to definitely come here and we'll have a cup of coffee together.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
See you.
Sure. Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. See you. Take care. Thank you so much.